There's a lot that we celebrate in a given year. But you know, 2020 hasn't been an ordinary year. It's been a curveballing year. In fact, it will go down as one of the most extraordinary years of our lifetime. But in spite of that, there is still so much for us to celebrate.
The year that was 2020. 'Twas the 12th of January 2020 where the priest declared, "You may now kiss the bride." You being me. I was the groom, and I was marrying the love of my life. Our wedding day. And at that point, we were looking ahead into 2020. We had big plans. Fast forward the picture to February, and I was hopping on a plane heading over to Abu Dhabi for my very first international speaking engagement to speak at the Middle East Youth Expo in front of 10,000 young people. And I was on cloud 9. And then we know what happened in March. The pandemic struck and life interrupted like never before. And like you, I was on the blind side, but I knew that the best way to move forward was to practice what I've known and preached for years. And that was, to get the monkeys off my back and to become the leader of my life. And so as we're here now in December 2020, we're finishing off this year, we're heading into a new year. Each and every one of us are writing our story. I'm currently writing my story, you're writing your story. And so what we're going to do in this segment, this second part of tonight, tables are going to be turned over to you. The spotlight is going to be on you, where it's an opportunity where we can hear from each and every one of you, perhaps some of your experiences, your insights, your lessons that you've gained from the year that was 2020.
I learned that life is much better when the pace is slowed down a little bit. Life is more rich, fulfilling. I've got more headspace to be grateful, to be kind, and patient with children, and just to create the business that I want to create instead of running around like a rat race in business of everything.
You've got to slow down to speed up, right?
Yeah.
I learned the importance of community, and the importance of building community. It's something that Meryl said actually in one of her posts, is you've got to make friends before you call on a friend. So, the importance of building all those community relationships over the years and drawing on them when you need them and just having them around. So I'm with Rob too, like living where there's so many coffee shops and just make, because you did have those relationships before, really appreciating them and that feeling of all in it together.
Yeah, the power of community and reaping what you sow.
Yeah, because what we actually, when we're squeezed, what comes out is what's inside. So, having that kind of, awareness and community around you to support you, it's really important.
Who's had that experience as well this year, the power of their own community?
Absolutely.
A remote control, because you can change the channels. I know that's very profound.
It is. I want to hear more, please.
So you can choose what channel you want to be on. So, and it's a bit like that balance thing. You can be on, the documentary challenge where you can be on a work challenge, you can be on a home life challenge, about a channel. You can switch yourself off when you've had enough.
So pets, I think, is a good one. I think working from home with our Labrador and seeing how simple life is for a dog. It doesn't matter what goes on as long as you take them for a walk and you're there. They sleep for most of the day. Like I think there's something in that about not being so stressed.
The toilet paper roll represents 2020, and really, that greed, being self-centered, being in a silo, looking out for yourself, that hoarding that went on. Doesn't represent, good leadership, community, or nobody will come the toilet roll.
Yeah, that was a big wake-up call. That was embarrassing for our country, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't get anyone started, all right? What would be the antidote metaphor, the opposite of toilet paper to represent what we can aspire to?
Yeah, so I think an example of the antidote was Anzac Day. I'm not sure if everybody did this, but dawn service, where standing out in front of the driveway and looking at the lights up the street, people standing out there in their pajamas and their tracky bags. It was very poignant because my father-in-law, like my husband, many of you will know, was in Queensland and we could get into the border. His dad passed away as the last post was sounding. Irishman, a real showman, and he had to get the limelight to the end. But while that was very sad, it's a pretty amazing, poignant thing to happen. But so that moment is really etched in our consciousness. But it was just that sentiment of seeing that, I think, is the antidote to toilet paper. And there are many other examples.
Absolutely, it captures everything. Humanity, we're all human beings. The symbol of light through the candles, beacons of hope.
But just everybody just quietly, no one was kind of going, oh, I'm out here, look at me. Everyone was just quietly in their own moment. But when you looked,
Teddy bear hunts.
Teddy bear hunts.
Oh, yeah. In the window.
Oh, yes. People bring teddy bears in the windows so that kids have something to look for when they go for their walks.
Yes.
Stop the teddy bears.
So people within the neighbourhood would put teddy bears up?
Yeah, kids.
And then what? They would just spot it?
Yeah, that's just
Teddy bear kids love fun.
Like, do they grab it? Like, how does it work?
What are the rules? Not everyone's a feast,
I grew up in you know.
They sit them in front of curtains,
Inspiration for the children.
or have them in a bush, or it's just spot the teddy bear.
Yeah.
And then when families to make it
So when they spot it, what do they do?
there's a teddy bear.
That's it. They just spot it like a Christmas tree or something.
It's like a hope. It's a sign of hope.
So
hope, family, jump.
that's beautiful. That's a great way. So I'm not a kid anymore, but I was just thinking like that would have been a great initiative. Even though I didn't see it within my neighbourhood, it would have been a great initiative to get kids outdoors and something to look forward to. And one of my favourite authors is a guy by the name of Jim Stovall, who says that there are 3 keys to a happy life. Number 1, something to do, and hopefully people have something to do these days, something they enjoy, purposeful. Number 2, someone to love. We've all got someone to love. If you haven't, come and love me, I'll love you back. And number 3 is something to look forward to, and that is the optimism, the hope, the dreams, and great metaphor. Thank you very much. Now, even though it took me a while to kind of get it. How many of you here would have, at some point or quite often during the year, felt like you were kind of fighting the parts of what was happening that were outside of your control? And that's the easiest way, the fastest way to increase anxiety, stress, and guess what? That focus chunk there ain't going to change anything. And it's, again, with what Alice was saying, echoing the focus around shifting our attention to the things that we can control, Googling the good, instead of being bitter about what is bad or what appears to be bad. It's all about perspective.